Hello, and welcome back to the Global English Podcast.
Your cozy place to learn easy English and, at the same time, improve your life.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Ryan. We are so happy you are here joining us again today.
We really are. We appreciate you making space for us in your, well, probably very busy schedule.
We do, and we hope we can offer you just a little moment of calm, focused learning today.
Speaking of calm, I have to say, you are radiating peace this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what is the secret? Did you finally solve some complex grammar rule or something?
Not quite, but maybe something even more impactful. Honestly, it was two small victories.
Two small victories. Okay, I'm listening.
The first, and this is like revolutionary for me, I managed to sleep before midnight.
Wow.
For once. Yeah, that felt like a massive win for my body.
Oh, congratulations. That truly is an accomplishment in this world.
It is.
And the second victory?
The second was entirely mental. When I woke up, I told myself, very simply, okay, today we are not living on autopilot.
Not on autopilot. I love that. For our listeners who might need a simple definition, what do you mean by that, being on autopilot?
It's just, acting like a ghost or a zombie.
Right.
Moving through your day without really thinking, without intention. It's when you do your routine, same drive, same phone scrolling, same lunch, but your mind is completely absent.
Just mechanical.
Exactly, just mechanical habit. And it often makes you feel tired, even when you aren't doing anything difficult. I just didn't want to be zombie me today.
I know that feeling so well. My morning, meanwhile, was a little less peaceful.
Oh, yeah.
I had one of those mornings where the alarm clock and I had a serious argument. 3 times.
The snooze button war.
The snooze button war, exactly. Yeah. But you know what? I did have one tiny win.
I thought you might have. What was it?
I managed one small, crucial switch. Instead of immediately grabbing my phone, the second my eyes opened and diving into all the notifications.
The chaos.
I chose to listen to music, just for 10 minutes.
Music instead of the notification chaos.
Yeah.
That is a truly wonderful and powerful switch. How did that feel? How did it change your morning?
It felt immediately softer, calmer. My brain woke up slowly, peacefully, instead of with that instant wave of stress from 100 things demanding my attention.
Right.
It was a conscious choice, and it changed the entire, the texture of the beginning of my day.
See, that's small choice music. Instead of scrolling, that is a perfect example of what we're calling a tiny life upgrade.
A tiny life upgrade.
Yeah, it seems small, maybe insignificant, but it totally shifted your energy for the next 8 hours?
Absolutely. And that tiny action repeated daily is really the core of our discussion today.
Exactly. Because we aren't just talking about mornings. We're applying this idea to big life changes, especially your journey to master English.
Right. The big question we always hear from listeners is, why do some people seem to completely flip their lives? They learn new skills, they get new confidence, new jobs, while other people feel like they're just walking in the same circle for years and years.
It can be so frustrating to watch. You see someone who used to struggle maybe with their confidence or their grammar, and suddenly they're just glowing.
Yeah, new energy, new life.
Yeah.
And you wonder, did they find some secret magic door?
The secret magic door doesn't really exist, not in the way movies show it.
So what's actually happening?
What's actually happening is this. Major, lasting life change. It rarely comes from one dramatic, huge moment. It comes from many small choices, repeated consistently, day after day.
This is the whole philosophy behind the 1% rule, right? Becoming just 1% better every day.
Exactly. It sounds so small that it feels like it won't matter. But those tiny, almost invisible decisions, they slowly build a completely new life, a new version of you.
So today, we're going to dive deep into exactly how to do this, how to change your life one tiny step at a time, using simple English and real examples just for you, the English learner.
But before we jump in, we have a tiny favor to ask of you.
Yes, just one small movement of your finger, which is a huge help for us and for the Global English Podcast.
If you're enjoying learning with us, please take just a quick second right now to like this episode and subscribe to the channel. That small action really does help more learners find the show.
And for your B1 English practice, we have a simple comment challenge for you. If you can, try writing this. I'm your name from your country, and one small thing I want to change in my life is...
We genuinely read these, and when you write, your English brain has to work. You choose words, build a sentence. That's active, real practice. It's part of your 1% improvement.
Okay, let's jump in. First big question. We're talking about all this potential for change, but if this 1% rule is so simple, Why does change feel so incredibly hard?
That's the foundation of the problem, isn't it?
It is. Why are so many of us just stuck?
Stuck. Change sounds fantastic, a new life, a fresh start, but in reality, a lot of people feel deep down that they are stuck.
Let's define that word. For our B1 listeners, what do we mean by stuck?
Stuck means you can't move forward, even when you know you should, even when you try. Imagine your shoe is held tight in thick, wet mud.
Right.
You pull, and you pull, but the mud just holds your foot. You're trying to move, but something invisible is holding you back.
These are what we call the invisible ropes.
Exactly. These invisible ropes are the psychological reasons we feel stuck. And the first one is maybe the most universal, the fear of failure.
Oh, the fear of failure. That's a big one. And failure just means simply that something does not work the way you wanted it to work.
Right. And for English learners, this fear is so intense.
How does it usually show up?
Well, it's often the fear of sounding unnatural in front of a native speaker, or your mind going blank when you try to speak, or just saying a word wrong and being laughed at.
It's that constant worry, that little voice saying, if I try this and I fail, I'll disappoint myself. Or even worse, I'll prove that I'm just not good enough to learn this.
That anxiety is a powerful stopping force. People stay quiet, they stop studying because they're so afraid of that negative result.
But here's the switch, right? They're so focused on the fear of the negative.
That they never ask the powerful counter question. If I try this tiny 5-minute practice session and I succeed, even just a little bit, what positive thing could happen?
Because every single person you admire, anyone who has achieved fluency or a big life goal, they have a secret history of small, clumsy, public failures.
They do. They've just redefined what failure is. Failure is part of the road, not a final stop sign at the end of the road.
That's so important. If you're learning English, failure means you're using the language. If you're not failing at all, you're probably not pushing yourself.
Exactly. Okay, so that's rope number 1, fear of failure. Rope number 2 that holds us back is no clear direction.
Direction. So knowing where to go, like having a map or a simple plan.
The issue is that most people's goals are either too big or, and this is important, too blurry.
Too blurry. What do you mean by blurry?
Blurry means not clear, like a photo that's out of focus. A classic blurry goal is I want to be fluent in English.
I hear that all the time.
Right. But what does fluent actually mean? How will you measure it? It's just too large to even start moving towards.
And when the goal is that blurry, we wait.
We wait. We wait for some perfect, beautiful master plan to just appear out of nowhere. We think we need a whole university course before we can even begin.
And this creates that waiting room feeling you mentioned.
Yes, the waiting room feeling, where time is moving, the months are passing by, but you are just sitting still, waiting for permission to start.
So the solution to the blurry goal is breaking it down.
Yes. Instead of fluent English, the goal becomes master the present perfect tense this week, or read one chapter of a B1 book.
That small, clear target gives you immediate direction.
Immediate direction. It tells you exactly what to do next, which leads us to rope number 3, the one that operates deep inside your own head. Negative self-talk.
This is a really strong, invisible rope. Negative self-talk it's that unkind voice in your mind.
The internal words you use are often like poison. They just immediately deplete your energy.
And for language learners, there are specific poison lines, aren't there? I'm not smart enough to learn a new language after 30.
Or, my accent is terrible, no one will understand me.
Yeah.
Or, the big one, I will never sound like a native speaker.
If you are hearing that voice every single day, it doesn't matter how good your textbook is.
Not at all. You're going to feel small and scared and exhausted before you even pick up the book. That voice is constantly draining your energy.
It steals the mental resources you need for actual learning.
And the really sneaky thing about negative self-talk is that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep telling yourself you're a failure, your brain starts looking for proof that you're right. We'll talk more about that later.
Okay. And finally, rope number 4, which is a huge trap for everyone.
Waiting for motivation.
Ugh, this one. We hear it constantly. I'll start exercising when I feel motivated.
I'll start practicing my speaking when I feel excited or confident.
Yeah, it's putting the cart before the horse, as we say.
We really need to flip this idea completely. The core principle of the 1% rule is that motivation usually comes after you start, not before.
So action is the source of motivation, not the result of it.
Exactly. When you take one small action, just 5 minutes of practice, your brain gives you a tiny reward, a little bit of positive emotion, maybe pride, maybe relief.
And that tiny reward is the motivation.
That's it. And it encourages you to repeat the action tomorrow. My fitness story is perfect for this. I spent months waiting for the perfect day, the perfect weather, the perfect mood to start running again.
Waiting for that mythical wave of motivation to just wash over you.
And it never came. Of course it didn't, because motivation is a fire that you have to light with action.
So what did you do?
I made a deal with myself. Just 5 minutes, that's it, not more. If I stop after 5 minutes, that's a success.
Okay.
I went outside, I walked, I ran a little bit.
Yeah.
When I came back, I felt proud. Not because I was fast, but because I kept the promise to myself. And that small sense of achievement that created the energy to do it again the next day.
I went through the exact same thing with speaking English. For years, I was just paralyzed. I thought my grammar is bad, my accent isn't perfect, I'm going to sound so stupid. I was waiting for the feeling of confidence to arrive before I would speak to anyone.
But confidence is something you build. It's not delivered to you fully formed.
Right. And the confidence never arrived while I was waiting, so finally I just forced myself. I said, okay, I will sound silly, I will make mistakes, but I am going to speak anyway.
So you started small.
I started small, ordering food, asking for simple directions. And yeah, I made mistakes, but each tiny conversation made me a little braver, a little more confident. The action built the confidence.
So confidence was the reward, not the entry ticket.
Exactly. It wasn't the requirement to start. So, to summarize this first part, these 4 things, fear, no direction, negative talk, and waiting, are the invisible ropes holding you. And the first step is just seeing them clearly.
You can't untie a rope you don't know is there.
Okay, so now that we know why change is hard, let's get to the hopeful part. How do we actually make progress using these small steps?
Well, people always imagine change as a dramatic, sudden explosion. Like, boom, a whole new life.
Right, like in a movie.
But lasting change is fundamentally different. It's much more like growing a plant.
That's such a good analogy for B1 learners. You wouldn't yell at a tiny seed and demand that it produces fruit tomorrow.
No. You water it, you give it sun, and you wait. Those daily drops of water and minutes of sunlight, those are your small actions. They seem tiny, almost insignificant, but they add up.
Add up. That's an essential phrase here. It means that many small things, when you put them together over time, they become something huge.
This is the math of the 1% rule. If you get 1% better every day after a year, you're actually 37 times better than when you started. That compounding effect is the real secret.
Let's run a simple comparison for an English learner. So we have 2 people, person A and person B.
Okay. Person A is waiting for that huge wave of motivation. They decide they'll start some big intensive course when they feel ready. Maybe next Monday. Maybe when they have 8 hours free every day.
And in the meantime, they do nothing. 0 pages read, 0 English content watched.
Now, person B uses the 1% rule. Person B decides that every single evening, they will spend just 5 minutes on English.
Only 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. They aren't trying to master anything complicated. They just review 10 flashcards or listen to 2 minutes of an English song and read the lyrics. Simple.
So after 6 months, what's happened?
After 6 months, person A has done nothing. Still in the waiting room. Person B, doing just 5 minutes a day, has accumulated 15 hours of focused, consistent practice.
15 hours is a big head start. But you're right, the real difference isn't just the hours, it's the habits.
The habit is the engine that drives everything.
Yeah.
A habit is something you do again and again, almost automatically. You don't need a huge mental effort to brush your teeth, right?
Right?
That's what we want English practice to become. Automatic.
And this is the most profound part of this section. Habits slowly shape your identity.
Your identity is simply who you believe you are, the kind of person you think you are in the world.
So if person A is always waiting, their identity stays as, I am a person who wishes they spoke English.
But if person B reviews flashcards for 5 minutes every single night after a month, they start to think, I am the kind of person who studies English daily.
That shift in thinking is massive because it changes the mental negotiation.
Exactly. For person B, studying is no longer this huge, difficult struggle. It's just what I do. It becomes natural. It's part of your self-view.
So the goal isn't just to learn English vocabulary. The goal is to become an English learner.
Yes. That identity supports the habit, and the habit reinforces the identity. It's a positive cycle.
Let's give some practical, B1-friendly small habit ideas.
Right.
And remember, we're talking about actions so small they feel almost ridiculous.
Because that makes them impossible to skip. Perfect. So instead of study grammar for 1 hour, the tiny habit is look up one new word in the English dictionary and write the definition in English.
Or Read one full page of an English book nightly before you sleep.
Mhm.
And if a full page feels too long, start with one paragraph.
Another one. Write 2 simple sentences about your day in English. For example, I ate eggs. The sun was hot. So simple, but it's active creation.
And my favorite one, which is a small mindset habit, is active self-correction. Every time you catch your inner voice saying, I'm bad at English, you stop it.
Hmm.
And you immediately change it to, I'm actively learning English. That tiny word change reframes your entire identity.
It really does. The key takeaway here is just how powerful you are. You don't need a dramatic, huge plan. You just need one single small action, repeated consistently, to secretly build a huge, long-lasting change.
Okay, we've used the word mindset a lot, and it's so fundamental to supporting the small habits. So let's spend some time really defining what mindset is and, more importantly, how you can reprogram it.
Right, so mindset is your general way of thinking about your abilities, your skills, your potential future. It's the overall style of your inner voice.
Does your voice believe in your potential, or does it believe you're stuck forever?
Exactly. And psychology usually distinguishes between 2 main mindsets. The first, and the most helpful for learning, is the growth mindset.
A growth mindset. With this, you believe, I can improve. I can learn. My current ability is not my final ability.
Yeah, people with this mindset see mistakes as necessary information, not as, personal defects.
And the opposite is the fixed mindset.
The fixed mindset is the belief that this is just who I am. I'm naturally bad at languages. My IQ is fixed. I can't change my skills.
So people with a fixed mindset, they avoid challenges because they're afraid of exposing their permanent weakness.
Right. And clearly, we want the growth mindset, especially for learning a language, which requires constant mistakes. But how does this inner belief actually affect our external success?
It's because of our brain's filter system.
Exactly. Our amazing, but sometimes tricky brain filter. Our brain is constantly overloaded with billions of pieces of information. It can't possibly process everything.
So it has a built-in filter, like a security guard at the door of your attention.
And this filter decides what information is important enough to show you. I like to think of it as a flashlight. It only shines a light on things it thinks are relevant to you right now.
And here's the connection. If your internal mindset, the instruction you give that filter is, I can't learn English, it's too hard.
Then your brain filter is instructed to prove you right. It shines its flashlight only on things that confirm that belief. Difficult grammar rules, times you were misunderstood, moments you felt slow. It filters out all the success.
But if your mindset changes, if you tell the filter to believe, I am learning and improving every single day,
the flashlight moves. Now the filter starts showing you small signs of progress. A new word you recognized, a compliment on your accent, a sentence you formed correctly without even thinking about it.
you are literally reprogramming your mind. You're installing a new growth app that focuses on opportunity instead of just problems.
And we have 3 practical tools you can use starting today to consciously install this growth mindset app.
Okay, tool number 1, affirmations.
An affirmation is a positive present tense sentence you say to yourself on purpose, repeatedly.
It has to be simple and specific, right? So instead of, I wish I were fluent, the affirmation is,
I am getting better at understanding spoken English every week.
Hmm?
And you say it out loud or in your head when you wake up, when you're exercising, before you start to study.
The goal is to intentionally override that negative self-talk rope we talked about. You're giving your brain a better instruction.
Exactly. Tool number 2, visualization.
Visualization. This means closing your eyes, even for just 60 seconds, and imagining yourself succeeding in vivid detail.
And it's important to not just visualize the successful outcome, but visualize the process. Imagine yourself confidently making a difficult phone call in English, or calmly reading a complex email.
You're showing your brain a roadmap of success, which makes it feel less scary and more possible.
And tool number 3, gratitude. Gratitude is the feeling of being deeply thankful for the good things in your life, even the very small things.
It's like an emotional reset button. At the end of a hard day, when you feel defeated, just take 30 seconds to find one small good moment.
It can be anything. I am thankful I had healthy food today, or I am thankful I understood 3 new words in that podcast.
Gratitude trains your brain filter to look for the positive. When you combine these 3 tools, affirmations for instruction, visualization for the roadmap, and gratitude for the emotional feeling, you are actively making your inner voice a coach, not a critic.
And a coach is what you need. A coach helps you get back up when you fall. A critic just tells you that you failed.
We've covered the internal struggles, like fear and mindset. Now let's talk about two major external enemies of action that can kill your momentum.
Right, the trap of perfection and the impact of your environment.
Let's start with perfection. This might be the single biggest killer of small habits. So many of us are waiting for the 100% perfect moment to start.
When I have a quiet room, then I'll study. Or when my English grammar is flawless, then I'll try that conversation exchange.
But we need to remember the rule we talked about. You only get confidence and comfort after you start. You don't get them before.
The swimming pool analogy is perfect here. You stand at the edge of the cold water, maybe you're shivering a little, and you tell yourself, I'll jump in only when the water feels warm and comfortable.
But the water will never feel comfortable from the outside. You have to jump in, and then your body adjusts to the temperature.
The comfort is the reward of the action, not the prerequisite for it.
I remember when I first started trying to write articles in English, I would spend an hour on the first sentence.
Oh, wow.
Changing words, checking dictionaries, just trying to make it perfect. I deleted so much work because it wasn't 100% correct.
And what was the result of focusing on perfection like that?
Exhaustion. I was so exhausted by the need for perfection that I couldn't even write the next sentence. I was totally blocked.
So what did you do?
I had to switch my thinking. My new mantra became, good enough is better than perfect and never finished.
That is the essential shift. You have to post the video, submit the assignment, or say the sentence when it's good enough, even if it feels a little messy.
We often say a messy start is always better than a perfect one day, because one day often means never.
So if you're delaying a task right now, writing that email in English, starting that new chapter, ask yourself, what is the one simple, imperfect action I can take on this right now?
Focus on that simple action, because imperfect actions build momentum.
Momentum. Let's define that. Momentum is that fantastic moving energy that makes it easier to keep going once you're already moving.
Think of a heavy bicycle. The hardest part is that very first push to get it going.
Right. Once the bike is moving, you need much less effort to keep the wheels turning.
And small, imperfect wins, even finishing that one paragraph or sending that short voice note, create that initial push. They build momentum.
They build internal trust that you are capable of taking action, and that moving energy is essential to keep the 1% rule going.
Okay, now let's turn to the second external enemy, your environment.
Environment means everything that's surrounding you. The people you talk to, the places you spend time in, the information you consume.
There's a famous idea that says you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
This isn't about being rude or judgmental about your friends. It's a simple observation of energy.
Right. If your 5 people are constantly complaining, always saying change is impossible, it's incredibly difficult for you to stay hopeful and focused on growth.
Their energy will drain your energy.
What does that mean, drain your energy?
It means they take your mental and emotional fuel away. They leave you feeling empty or tired, especially when you need that energy for your own goals, like studying English after a long day of work.
But on the other hand, if your 5 people are trying new things, learning, doing small things for their future,
Even if they're struggling or failing sometimes, you start to feel that growth is normal and possible. Their positive energy is infectious.
and it's not just physical people, it's also about what you watch and listen to, your information diet.
Information is like food. There's healthy food and there's junk food.
Healthy food for your brain would be things like motivating content, educational videos, helpful books, and of course, language-focused podcasts like this one.
They sustain you. Junk food information is the opposite. Endless negative news, constant arguments in comment sections, or drama that consumes hours but gives you nothing back.
That junk food diet quickly drains your energy. It steals the mental focus you need to build those 1% habits.
When I started getting really serious about English, I intentionally joined an online study group. These weren't expert teachers, just other B1 learners, all struggling with the same things.
And did that make English easy?
It didn't make English magically easy, no. But the supportive environment made quitting much, much more difficult. We held each other accountable.
So the actionable question for you, the listener, is essential. Who are my 5 people, and what is my information diet?
And if your current environment feels negative, you don't need to make a dramatic breakup with all your friends.
But you can commit to adding one positive input, one helpful YouTube channel, one inspiring podcast, one supportive online community.
Little by little, improving your environment makes taking action feel so much more natural.
That was a full deep dive, packed with insights and strategies for achieving change through the 1% rule.
It was, and we covered some really powerful English vocabulary related to self-development.
So for our B1 listeners, let's now take a very calm, slow word tour to review the most important terms we use today.
This is your mental workout. Listen closely and maybe repeat the words in your mind.
Okay, word number 1, stuck. Stuck means you can't move forward, like your foot is trapped in mud. An example sentence could be, I feel stuck in my routine. Every day feels exactly the same.
Word number 2, failure. Failure means something did not work the way you planned. For example, my fear of failure stopped me from trying to speak English in public.
Word number 3, direction. Direction is knowing where you are going, like having a map or a clear, simple plan. For example, setting small goals gave me clear direction in my study.
Word number 4, negative self-talk. This is the unkind, self-defeating voice inside your mind. For instance, I'm actively working to change my negative self-talk into positive affirmations.
Word number 5, habit. A habit is something you do again and again automatically, almost without thinking. An example, listening to the Global English Podcast daily is now my best habit.
Word number 6, identity. Identity is how you see yourself, the kind of person you truly believe you are. For example, my identity changed when I started seeing myself as a confident English communicator.
Word number 7, mindset. Your mindset is your general way of thinking about your abilities and your future potential. For instance, changing my mindset helped me to accept mistakes as part of the learning process.
Word number 8, growth mindset. A growth mindset means you believe you can learn and improve no matter where you start. For example, because he has a growth mindset, he always thinks of challenges as opportunities.
Word number 9, affirmation. An affirmation is a positive sentence you intentionally tell yourself, usually in the present tense. An example is, I use the affirmation, I'm speaking English more clearly every single day.
Word number 10, visualization. Visualization means closing your eyes and vividly imagining yourself doing something successfully. For example, before the difficult job interview, she used visualization to feel calm and ready.
Word number 11, gratitude. Gratitude is the feeling of being sincerely thankful for the good things in your life. For instance, practicing gratitude makes my small problems feel less overwhelming.
Word number 12, momentum. Momentum is that moving energy that makes it much easier to keep going once you've started. An example, the first correct email she wrote gave her momentum to tackle the next 10.
And finally, word number 13, environment. Your environment is everything around you, your people, your places, and the information you consume. For example, a calm, supportive environment is crucial for focused study.
That was a solid session. And if you're up for a little challenge, your little English gym workout, choose just one of these 13 words right now and make your own sentence.
You can say it quietly to yourself or write it in the comments. We love to see your practice in action.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today on the Global English Podcast.
We want to leave you with this final thought. You do not need a massive, perfect plan. And you certainly do not need a dramatic explosion to achieve the life you want or the English fluency you desire.
You simply need to harness the power of consistency. Little changes repeated every single day can truly transform your life into something completely new, secretly, over time.
So your micro challenge for today is simple and, well, non-negotiable. Think of one small English task or life improvement you keep postponing and give it just 5 minutes today.
Not 10, not an hour. Just 5 minutes to build that tiny bit of momentum.
If this deep dive helped you shift your perspective, please share it with one friend who also wants to grow and learn English. And please don't forget to subscribe to the Global English Podcast for more episodes.
Take care, keep focusing on that 1% improvement, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye for now.